Once the Prime Minister enters the tent, I'm asking that persons please stand. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Morning again, ladies and gentlemen. Please remain standing for the national anthem of Jamaica, which will be followed by the national anthem of Mexico. Thank you. You may be seated. The Jamaica Council of Churches was established in 1941 and has its mission creating a better future for all mankind. We thank Reverend Dixon, General Secretary of the Jamaica Council of Churches, for joining us today to invoke the blessings and guidance on this major initiative.
Let us pause for prayer. Eternal God, your word declares that the earth is the Lord's and everything in it, the world and all who live in it. By this we proclaim your sovereign power, offer you praise, glorify your majesty, and extol your grace. Indeed, O God, how excellent is your name in all the earth. Loving God, we thank you for the Caribbean Cement Company, for TCL and the parent company CEMEX, for the many years of operation and support for the Jamaican society with products which have enabled the development of the built environment, and for their corporate compassion and care for the surrounding communities. We thank you for their unequivocal affirmation of the value of life and the prioritization of safety, so that all persons return safely to their families at the Fernando, Jesus, David, Paris, Francisco, and Yago in their respective leadership capacities. Empower and prosper the employees and associates. We petition you for today's groundbreaking ceremony of the expansion project. May its operations prolong the rich traditions of efficiency, productivity, and safety. Bless also, we pray, this sublime expression of relationship and responsibility, which we will affirm in the unveiling of the mural. And so, God of all mercies, we are confident that if you build the house, the laborers will not labor in vain. Therefore, we embrace your presence, your peace, and your provisions for today. This we pray in the name of our Savior and Sustainer, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Dixon. The Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister, Honorable Olivia Grange, Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, Honorable Audley Shaw, Minister of Transport and Mining, Honorable Dr. Norman Dunn, State Minister in the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Senator the Honorable Aubin Hill, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Reverend Newton Dixon, General Secretary of the Jamaica Council of Churches, His Excellency Juan Jose Gonzalez Mijares, Ambassador to Jamaica from Mexico, Mr. Fernando Gonzalez, CEMEX Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Jesus Gonzalez Herrera, CEMEX Regional President of the South and Central America and Caribbean region, Mr. David Ingerfield, Chairman of the TCL Group, Mr. Paris Liao Ai, CD, Chairman of the Caribbean Cement Company Limited. Mr. Peter Moses, Director of the Board of Caribbean Cement Company Limited. Mr. Francisco Aguilera, Group Managing Director of the TCL Group. Mr. Iago Castro, Managing Director of Caribbean Cement Company Limited and Country Manager of CEMEX, Jamaica and Bahamas. Mr. Irvin Cano, Muralist. Caribbean Cement Company managers and staff, good morning. I am Chad Bryan. I am the Communications and Social Impact Coordinator at Caribbean Cement Company Limited, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies this morning. Buenos días y bienvenidas. Es un placer tenerlos hoy aquí. That's perhaps the only Spanish I know, and I'm sure my Spanish teacher would be a little disappointed. Good morning and welcome. It is a pleasure to have you here today. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here to break ground in symbolic initiation of the Kiln 5 expansion project, a seminal moment in our company's history. We will also unveil the Jamaica-Mexico Friendship Mural. Today, we celebrate the strength of relationship and partnership as depicted in the mural and as realized in the success story that has risen from CEMEX's own ownership of Caribbean Cement Company. Ladies and gentlemen, health and safety are important at Carib Cement. It is on every page, in every meeting, and on every agenda. It is part of our commitment to ensuring that we maintain our 3-year achievement of 0 lost time incidents. I now invite the Health and Safety Coordinator, Mr. Andre Haynes, to give us the safety brief. Mr. Haynes.
Good morning, everyone. All right, so in keeping with our health and safety mantra, I'll be going through our health and safety protocols. So in the event of an emergency, you will hear a siren that will be sounded. That siren will be sounded for 30 seconds. We ask that all persons please evacuate. Our emergency assembly point is to the rear of the tent. We have a sign that's there. That will be our muster point. From there on, we will have our emergency response team who will then coordinate the activities from there. We also have an ambulance that is on site that will respond to any eventualities. So we have 2 ambulances actually, one private and one from our company. So our internal team is also on site to provide the necessary support. And necessarily from there on, we will take things as we go along. In terms of the day-to-day activities, I hope that everyone will remain safe. Our motto, 0 for life. So we ask that you maintain the protocols accordingly and have a safe rest of the day. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, in my acknowledgement, I neglected to mention the Most Honorable Juliet Holness, wife of the Prime Minister, my apologies, and the Honorable Carl Shamuda, Minister of Labor and Social Securities. Thank you, Andre, for your safety brief. Our Managing Director, Mr. Iago Castro, has been a Chief Steward tasked with piloting this company over the past 3 years and has displayed steady leadership. He is a big supporter of activities that incorporate the communities in which we operate. Please welcome our Managing Director of Caribbean Cement Company Limited and CEMEX Country Manager to Bahamas and Jamaica, Mr. Iago Castro.
Okay, Good morning to all. Let me proceed with the salutations. Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Chad Bryan, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, and the Most Honorable Mrs. Juliette Holness, Honorable Olivia Grange, Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment, and Sport, Honorable Carl Semuda, Minister of Labor and Social Security, Honorable Oliso, Minister of Transport and Mining, Senator, the Honorable Owen Hill, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Honorable Dr. Norman Down, State Minister in the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, His Excellency Juan Jose Gonzalez Mijares, Ambassador to Jamaica for Mexico, His Worship the Mayor of Kingston, Senator Councilor Mr. Leroy Williams, Mr. Fernando Gonzalez, CEMEX CEO, Mr. Jesus Gonzalez Herrera, CEMEX Regional President for South America, Central America, and Caribbean region, Mr. David Ingenfield, Chairman for TCL Group, Mr. Francisco Aguilera, Group Managing Director, TCL Group, Mr. Paris Liu Ayi, Carib Cement Chairman, members of the media, Caribbean Cement Company managers, and friends and distinguished guests, good morning to all. Let me start by saying that I'm very happy to have you all here. Today is a very, very important day for the history of this company, Carib Cement. This morning we celebrate two important events. One is the break ground event of finally the expansion of the capacity of our kiln and the unveiling of this beautiful mural of the Jamaica-Mexico Friendship Mural that will commemorate the 60th anniversary of the independence of Jamaica. This event is made even more significant because of the distinguished presence of the Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, along with some of his cabinet ministers, and the presence of our Chief Executive Officer, Fernando Gonzalez, here with us in Jamaica for the first time. Ladies and gentlemen, the expansion of our kiln is really a pioneering moment for us, for our company. It's a project that will allow us to have a more robust operation that will strengthen the booming construction sector in the country and the economy of Jamaica as a whole. This $6 billion Jamaican dollars investment now being made by CEMEX comes at the right time, as it will serve several public and private projects across the island for the coming years. This will help the country to be self-sufficient in terms of cement production going forward. Ladies and gentlemen, let me use this opportunity to thank you, all the hard-working Caribbean Cement Company. Nothing else will happen without you, so thanks. And you continue putting your best forward to improve and transform this company one day after one day to serve our customers, our stakeholders, and our shareholders as we build a greater Jamaica and a better future for all. Thanks a lot for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Castro. Ambassador Juan Jose Gonzalez Mijares entered the diplomatic service in 1990, having served previously as a professor of sociology and international politics. He became Mexico's ambassador to Jamaica, Bahamas, and the permanent representative to the International Seabed Authority in April 2018. Please welcome His Excellency to give remarks.
Thank you. Thank you so much. No. The Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, the Most Honorable Juliette Holness, Honorable Olivia Grange, Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sports, the Mayor of Kingston, His Worship Councillor Delroy Williams, Mr. Philip Powell, Member of Parliament of East Kingston and Port Royal, Licenciado Fernando González Olivieri, Chief Executive Officer of Cementos Mexicanos, CEMEX, Mr. Paris Liu A., Chairman of the Carib Cement, Mr. Iago Castro, Managing Director of the Caribbean Cement Company Limited, government official, other members of cabinet, representatives of CEMEX, and special guests, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry if I didn't mention all the persons because I was not given the list in advance, of all of them, so we have surprises, very especially the cabinet members. Mexico and Jamaica established diplomatic relations in 1966. Ever since, we have developed a solid and steady relationship based on our constant political dialogue, growing economic importance, and technical and cultural cooperation. Today, we are proud to have this mural unveiling and groundbreaking ceremony on the 60th anniversary of Jamaican's independence in this magnificent setting on the Bay of Kingston, where the art and culture of Mexico and Jamaica fuses with the talent of an industrial group from Monterrey, Cementos Mexicanos, founded in 1906, a global company that trades building materials with 96 nations in 4 continents. Art and industry coming together and showing the ambition of Mexico and Jamaica to enhance our partnership even further in a time of uncertainties, pandemics, wars, economic disruptions, but determined to work together for the social and economic recovery of the people of the 2 countries. I presume other speakers will talk about the prospect and importance of the new investment of CEMEX in the Rockford plant of East Kingston. But let me just highlight the growing importance of foreign Mexican investment in Jamaica in the past 7 years that have reached $1.5 billion in the strategic sectors of airport operations, construction materials and technology, hotels and entertainment in the tourist sector. The recent announcements of new investments up to 2027, like the one of CEMEX today, may add another billion to this figure. This fact illustrates the vitality and prospect of growth of the Jamaican economy and the key role of foreign investment based on the public policies of the government and the dynamism of the private sector. Please allow me now to speak about the origins and execution of the art project that is being inaugurated today, perhaps the largest mural in the country, conceived and executed by the Mexican painter of Zapotec ancestors, Irving Cano, here with us, after a successful commissioning in Temple Lane as part of the renewal of downtown Kingston in 2019, and the initiative of the Minister of Culture to commission a work for the facade at the historic cricket stadium, Sabina Park, in 2020. I would like to thank heartfully the Mayor of Kingston, Delroy Williams, and my dear friend, Minister of Culture, Olivia Babsy Grange, for their vision and support to open up spaces of street art in Kingston that open the gate for artists like Irving to work on the walls of the historic city as a representative of the long tradition of Mexican muralism. We are honored today to acknowledge his contribution to the artistic heritage of Jamaica 60. It was at Sabina Park that I introduced Irving to the managing director of Carib Cement, Iago Castro, and a conversation began, together with collaborators from the Ministry of Culture, of a mural in one of the silos of the Rockford plant, a daring and challenging project to be painted in a cylinder form of great dimensions, depicting 2 figures in grand format that could be seen from afar. A jaguar man of ancient Mexico offers a colorful heart to a Jamaican singer. I do not wish to speculate about the meaning of the offering, but I know that in Jamaica, music always prevails, and sadly for the jaguar, Jamaicans are always faster. I would like to thank Iago and Carib Cement CEMEX for his vision, initiative, and technical means to produce in collaboration with the Ministry of Culture this mural, a Caribbean CEMEX premiere that I hope will inspire the commissioning of other works of art in Mexico and elsewhere. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very honored as representative of Mexico and Jamaica for the past years to have taken part in this innovative art project that fuses the culture of Mexico and Jamaica with the industrial entrepreneurial talent of CEMEX Carib Cement, one of the main investors in Jamaica and the Caribbean region. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your partnership and support. Ladies and gentlemen, it is and has held various positions in the strategic planning, business development, and human resources departments, and that was through to the 1998. From 1998 through to 2009, Mr. Gonzalez led various regions of CEMEX, including the South Central America and the Caribbean, to which Carib Cement belongs, Europe, Asia, and Oceania. He was appointed CEMEX's CEO in 2014. Please welcome Mr. Fernando Gonzalez to give his remarks.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies. Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Chad Bryan, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister, and the Most Honorable Mrs. Juliette Holness, Honorable Olivia Grange, Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, Honorable Carl Samuda, Minister of Labor and Social Security, Honorable Audley Shaw, Minister of Transport and Mining, Senator, the Honorable Owen Hill, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Honorable Dr. Norman Dunn, State Minister in the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, His Excellency Juan José González Mijares, Ambassador to Jamaica from Mexico, His Worship the Mayor of Kingston, Senator, Councillor Mr. Delroy Williams, Mr. David Inglefield, Chairman of the TCL Group, Mr. Paris Lee I, Chairman of Caribbean Cement Company Limited, Mr. Jesus González Herrera, CEMEX Regional President of the South and Central America and the Caribbean region, Mr. Francisco Aguilera, Group Managing Director of TCL Group, Mr. Yago Castro, Managing Director of Caribbean Cement Company Limited and Country Manager of CEMEX Jamaica and Bahamas, Caribbean Cement Company managers and staff, members of the media, friends and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to all. It is with great pleasure that I join you all here today at this event to mark two important activities: the official groundbreaking to expand capacity of our kiln and the unveiling of the Jamaica-Mexico Friendship Mural. It is my first time in our Jamaica operation and is one of the stops in my three-nation visit this time. The warmth that I felt so far, not only in the weather, but in the people, is a testament to what has always been known about Jamaicans, that they are an outwardly warm and friendly people. Ladies and gentlemen, the expansion of the capacity of the cement plant accounts for a total investment of around 6 billion Jamaican dollars and will be the biggest investment made by CEMEX in the country in the last 5 years. Same is expected to help Caribbean Cement Company to entirely supply the local market, making Jamaica self-sufficient in terms of cement production. This investment represents the first phase of the project that aims to increase the cement production by up to 30% in the coming years. We are in the final stages of the engineering phase and obtaining permits of the authorities. Very soon, we will begin to procure the equipment needed for this initial phase of this project that will not only expand our capacity, but also allow us to optimize our heat consumption in the manufacturing process and therefore reduce the carbon footprint of our facility in the country. The possibility exists to further scale up the project in the long term. We are bullish in our business in Jamaica, and this investment demonstrates CEMEX's commitment to this beautiful country. Prime Minister, distinguished guests, this project is also part of our roadmap to allow CEMEX to reach its ambitious sustainability consolidated target of reducing CO2 emissions, thereby minimizing the carbon footprint of our operations in the island. Under our Future in Action program, we have set a target of 40% reduction in CO2 by 2030, which is aligned to our worldwide commitment and aligned to the well below 2 degrees scenario. Our goal is to become a truly net zero company by 2050. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad to see that many advancements taking place in our cement subsidiary, Caribbean Cement Company Limited. It includes achieving 3 years of no lost time incidents, which confirms the hard work put in by our people to the maintenance of this important pillar in our organization, and to which we will recognize in a ceremony later today, as well as the introduction of Vertua, our low-carbon cement, which we introduced to the Jamaican market in February of this year. The advancements also extend to the operational efficiencies at our plant, which has increased our output production by 13% over the last 3 years. Advancements have also been made in our social impact programs, as over 220 communities close to our operations have benefited from our more than 145 million Jamaican dollar investment in scholarships, concrete paving solutions, and COVID-19 initiatives. Distinguished guests, I'm happy to be participating in History in the Making with the unveiling of the largest mural in the corporate area as part of efforts to celebrate Jamaica's 60th anniversary of independence. This mural depicts the enduring bond and friendship that Jamaica shares with Mexico since solidifying diplomatic relations in 1966. The involvement of local talent alongside Mexico's renowned muralists from the state of Oaxaca, Irving Cano, is also heartening, as CEMEX is a strong believer in collaboration, particularly when it entails working with and engaging communities. Let me express my thanks to the government of Jamaica, in particular of Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sports and Embassy of Mexico in Jamaica for collaborating to create the Mural project. We are committed to Jamaica. Let me thank you all for joining us here today as we work to build a better future for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez, for sharing these insights with us, especially how the planned expansion will enable us to transform our operations and contribute more to the Jamaican economy. The Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, Honorable Olivia Grange, through the Paint Up Your Creative Space project, is on a drive to showcase our creative culture. To tell us more about the project and to introduce the Honorable Prime Minister, we invite Minister Grange to address us.
Most Honorable Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Juliet Holness, Most Honorable Juliet Holness is here this morning, not only as the wife of the Prime Minister, but she's very much a parliamentarian and the neighboring parliamentarian in this end of the corporate area. She represents East Rural St. Andrew and quite a dynamic member of parliament. So she's actually representing Mr. Paulwell as well. That's how we do it. I also want to acknowledge my colleague cabinet ministers in the interest of time. Just acknowledge my colleague ministers and the ministers of state who are present. I think the Honorable Dr. Dunn is the only Minister of State present, so I'll single you out, right? And to single out the Ambassador, thank you so much. We have worked very well together. And of course, I must especially acknowledge Mr. Fernando Gonzalez, Chief Executive Officer, who is our guest here this morning, our guest in Jamaica, and we welcome you. The CEMEX family, my permanent secretary, as well as my team, and the media, and specially invited guests. So it is my pleasure to greet you all as we unveil the mural, Reignited for Unity, a true example of public-private partnership and a symbol of the enduring relationship between Jamaica and Mexico, which commenced 55 years ago on March 18 in 1966. The idea for this mural was conceived in the first quarter of 2021, with discussions being held among my ministry, CEMEX, and with the Embassy of Mexico in Jamaica, and it followed on other projects that we have done. It was decided that we should erect a mural to celebrate our long-standing partnerships, while simultaneously creating Jamaica's tallest and biggest mural on the walls of Silo number 10, located here at Rockford Plant. We really wanted to do both silos. And I'm hoping, Yago, that we will be able to do. I know the second silo needs a little repair, but we will continue to have those discussions. An extension of my ministry's ongoing Jamaica Creative Paint Up Your Creative Space mural project now sees this full-color mural, which measures 49 feet tall by 167 feet in width. The creative work illustrates the strong cultural and artistic traditions of both Jamaica and Mexico and depicts a Jaguar man, a powerful representation of Mexican Aztec culture, presenting his heart to a beautiful singing Jamaican female, representative of the beauty and the spirit of our people and our Jamaican music. So Mexican artist Irvin Cano Gomez, assisted by Freddie Herrera, worked alongside our Jamaican muralists Anthony Smith, Jordan Harrison, and Yankee Yip to produce this exciting work, which has now become a must-see attraction for visitors arriving and those departing our shores. And I'd just like to ask Irvin to just stand and be acknowledged, and please give them a big round of applause. our local muralists are not here this morning because they're elsewhere doing murals, although they were trying to make it here this morning. But I really want to thank them because it's a beauty to behold. For Jamaican creatives, this collaboration fosters skills transfer and capacity development while encouraging South-South partnership between Jamaica and Mexico. I remain grateful for the personal support and partnerships of the Mexican ambassador, Juan Jose Gonzalez Mijares. He has been wonderful, ladies and gentlemen. I can't tell you how great he has been in giving this project support. And the managing director of Carib Cement, Iago Castro, who ensured a successful completion, a successful and safe completion of the project. We had challenges, trust me, including COVID, but we were able to pull it off. The erection of the mural is timely as it follows on the UN-declared International Year of Creative Economy for Sustainable Development in 2021, and also falls within our Diamond Jubilee as Jamaica celebrates its 60th year of independence. So far, so good. We have been enjoying our celebrations, haven't we? It must also be noted that the collaboration and skills exchange among the muralists demonstrated the objective of free movement of artists in keeping with Jamaica's obligations as a party to the UNESCO 2005 Convention on the Protection and Promotion of Diversity of Cultural Expressions. So again, I want to thank our partners at CEMEX, the Mexican Embassy in Jamaica, and our local and Mexican artists. This project has certainly gifted to Jamaica, Mexico, and the region an amazing example of the genius of our creatives and demonstrates just how powerful the cultural expressions of our two nations have been. It is fitting that Carib Cement, which has been a significant part of the history and built heritage of independent Jamaica, has partnered to celebrate our Diamond Jubilee in this way. I really, truly thank CEMEX for this. And as I close, I say that this mural is truly a soulful illustration, nestled between the majesty of our hills and mountains and the warm Caribbean Sea that flows to join our peoples and culture together. I thank you. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, when you're asked to introduce, it's not an easy task. I'll have the honor and the privilege of sitting in a cabinet that is led by one of the most dynamic, if not the most dynamic Prime Minister that Jamaica has ever seen. I have the pleasure of sitting in a cabinet led by, and this gentleman does not like when I say this, but one of the youngest Prime Minister this country has ever seen. He's still young. I have the pleasure of sitting in a cabinet that is led by someone we call the builder, because he has been building. He has been building this country in a very focused and methodical way. And it's certainly appropriate for him to be here this morning at Cement Company that has contributed to many important and massive structures in this country. And so it is my pleasure this morning to introduce my leader, my Prime Minister, our Prime Minister, ladies and gentlemen, the Most Honorable Andrew Michael Holness.
Thank you, Minister Grange, for your very kind introduction. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a wonderful morning, and I am very pleased to be with you this morning to participate in the groundbreaking ceremony for this very significant expansion project at the Caribbean Cement Company Limited. This morning, we also unveil the very beautiful murals painted on one of Caribbean Cement's silos, indicative of the strong bonds of friendship between two countries in our region, Mexico and Jamaica. Congratulations to the artists who worked on this mural representing their countries and symbolizing the strong affection, goodwill, and close ties between our two countries. I wish to acknowledge the Mexican muralists, Irving Cano, assisted by Freddy Herrera, also from Mexico, and our very own Jamaican muralists, Anthony Smith, Jordan Morrison, and Yannick Yip. As we say in Jamaica, respect due. And I suspect that the giving of the heart is not just a symbol of love, but it is also a symbol of respect between our two countries. Initiatives like these and the various murals that are being done around Kingston brings to life Kingston as the creative capital of the Caribbean. And we see the work that is being done by the KCC, the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Authority. We see these as catalysts for positive social, cultural, and economic change in our communities. And they're also positive catalysts for our mental health. I'm certain that as you come along this corridor, which we consider to be the Welcome to Kingston corridor, and you see the mural, it immediately just elevates your spirit. So I think it is a very good initiative from that perspective. But you would also want to know that the Caribbean Cement Company is doing other corporate social responsibility outreach. I know, for example, in St. James, they are building concrete roads in certain inner city communities. I have toured it, I have seen it. I know that you have done work on the Riverton City landfill. And I know that you are about to do some work in my constituency. Because you have done work in Juliet's constituency. And I see Dr. Dunn saying that he has also benefited from the very good corporate, and Minister Grange and Minister Shaw. Whoa! I'm certain Minister Paul, former MP Paulwell, has also benefited. So, the Caribbean Cement Company, I can safely say, is a good corporate citizen and should be commended. Improving the aesthetics along the Welcome to Kingston corridor is not just the responsibility of the corporate entities along the corridor, which, by the way, we must say that Carib Cement has taken an active and a lead role in this. But the government also has plans to improve this corridor, and there are now considerations about the roundabout going past here and what we can do to make it more aesthetically appealing and attractive. I'm certain that I will be having more direct conversations with the management of Carib Cement to ensure that this dream of totally improving this area comes to fruition. We're therefore pleased that as part of its growth strategy, CEMEX took the decision to upgrade and increase the production capacity of its subsidiary, Caribbean Cement Company Limited. This expansion project, valued at US $40 million, will increase Carib Cement's production capacity by approximately 30%. That is by 300,000 metric tons. That is significant. The expansion will use state-of-the-art technology and will introduce novel grinding additives to the manufacturing process, which will further enhance the production of low clinker products in the region. Further, by optimizing the heat consumption in the cement production process, the project will also minimize Carib Cement's carbon footprint in Jamaica. The construction ecosystem globally accounts for 25% of greenhouse gas emissions. Concrete specifically, cement, which is the largest contributor to this, accounts for 4.5% of global greenhouse gas emissions and 7% of CO2 emissions in 2019. I therefore note and commend CEMEX for recognizing the importance of doing its part to address the global climate crisis, a crisis which we all face. And what they have done is to create the Future in Action program with an objective to become a net zero CO2 producing company by 2050. That is very encouraging. The program has very specific actions and targets to achieve along the way. And as I've said, this is very admirable. The CEMEX approach with their Future in Action program means that Carib Cement will also be on a sustainable development path, and we welcome this. The expansion is a very positive development for our country and will strengthen the self-sufficiency of our national cement industry. It will reduce dependency on cement imports, allow for exports if our local demands are not met, and reinforce Caribbean Cement's ability to serve the growth of the construction sector in Jamaica and the Caribbean. Major projects across every category of infrastructure development, whether it is transportation, housing, tourism, all rely on cement. The construction industry employs technical, skilled, and unskilled persons and contributes significantly to economic growth and job creation. So, ladies and gentlemen, an expansion of the production capacity is very, significant and important to Jamaica's economic growth strategy. Cement is the foundation of the construction industry, which is vital to generating the growth and the jobs which we are now seeing. Growth in an economy is important for fiscal sustainability and for raising standard of living. Our people, like all people worldwide, want good health, a decent and safe place to live, access to quality education, jobs, good nutrition, a healthy environment, and most of all, they want to be respected and be happy. Now, the question is, how do we achieve this? There are those who believe that somehow government alone can fulfill all these needs. There are those who literally believe this. There are those who believe that the private sector has no role in this whatsoever. What we have learned is that if you exclude the private sector from the growth and progress and prosperity of the country, you will not achieve growth, progress, and prosperity. This government has always sought to develop a partnership between the efforts of the government, the efforts of labor and civil society, and the efforts of the entrepreneur and the owners of capital. And if we as one society work together on the basis that what we produce will be equitably and fairly produced and distributed, then we will all benefit. And the strategy of the government has worked. The government commits to give certainty to all economic actors, whether you are a private household or a private business, whether you are big business or small business, whether you are an ambitious one man trying to get your own business going, we consider you to be a micro enterprise, or you are an ambitious entrepreneur and you employ 4 or 5 or 10 workers and you have a little small business. We commit to good and strong and sustainable fiscal management so that you don't have to worry about vagaries and uncertainty of government affecting your business. When we are affecting your household, when we as a government create an economic environment where when the budget is to be read, you do not have to worry about new taxes. Even in a time of crisis. So whether it is the poor household, you don't have to worry about taxes. Whether it is a small businessman or a micro businessman or the MSMEs or the big business, that creates the environment of certainty. And that environment of certainty allows people to invest. That environment of certainty allows the labor market to say, all right, things might be rough, but if we continue to put our labor in, increase our productivity, our opportunities will grow. And we are seeing the returns of that. Not only are huge firms like CEMEX investing, but if you look at the number of companies being registered in the company's office, you would see, Minister Hill will tell you, a significant increase in the number of companies. And these are not huge, mega companies. These are small, average persons establishing their companies to do business because the environment says, let us do business in Jamaica. It does pain my heart when I hear persons trying to drive a wedge in this partnership for growth and prosperity. That somehow the poor will not benefit from the partnership for growth, progress, and prosperity. That is absolutely not the case. The partnership is working, and the greatest symbol of the success of the partnership is that we now have the lowest level of unemployment in the history of Jamaica. There are some who believe that to protect the poor, you must give them a handout, for which they must constantly come back to you for a handout. That is their idea of protection. This administration believes in creating economic growth that creates jobs, because a job is the greatest way to treat with poverty. When you give people employment, you give them independence, you create income for them, you increase their freedom and their options. That is the philosophy of this government. We create the economic environment where all people can flourish as free economic agents to make decisions for themselves. We create the economic environment where people can, through their own labor, their own intellect, their own dint of strength and creativity, pull themselves out of poverty. So in the midst of crisis, which this government did not create, we are thousands of miles away from Russia and Ukraine. Jamaica has nothing to do with the coronavirus and the pandemic which it caused. We are here minding our own business, trying to survive, and these external shocks hit this government and hit the people of Jamaica. But yet, my friends, there are those who, in trying to trick the poor, because that is the real trick, to say to the poor, is the government caused coronavirus and is the government caused Russia to invade Ukraine. That is the real trick. You see this politics of poverty? It's a very dangerous thing. This politics of poverty. Because the people who are poor and struggling, looking on at a $40 million investment being made by a multinational company, don't immediately make the connection that this $40 million investment will require more workers straight off the bat, so that's more people, which we are finding it now difficult to find because at 6% you're almost at full employment, and we are now going to have to engage in specific programs to find you the labor, to actually get people who are not participating in the labor force to participate in the labor force so that you can get the quality labor and output that you need. That's a problem that we never had before. It's a new problem, but we are capable of solving, and that is why we're going to work together to make sure that you can find the labor. But it means when you have more people earning income, more people buying goods, so every little corner shop get more sale. Every higgler in the market get more sale. So the entire economy benefits. This $40 million US investment will percolate through, find its way through the economy. And it means more people will pay taxes, more people will pay NHT, more people will pay hard tax. And that is how we will build and grow our economy. So I beg pardon from the executives of CEMEX for me to hijack your program to make and respond to a point that really should never have been made in today's Jamaica. But a point which shows the deficit in thinking and how backward and stuck in the past those other minds are, and perish the thought for them to ever lay hands on the steering wheel of Jamaica again. So, we're very happy that this investment is being made. And I want every Jamaican to understand that investments like these are not being made right across the region. If you check right across the region, many countries are seeing a retreat of investors. People are uncertain about government policy. They are uncertain about what the Fed is doing. They are uncertain about what local governments are doing. And therefore, they are hedging their bets. They are waiting to see the future settle. But because of Jamaica's solid fiscal and macroeconomic performance, investors can properly balance and weigh the risk, and they have made the investment in this country. For those Jamaicans who are inclined to the nonsensical view that somehow some big man is fighting against you, I urge you to reconsider that view. We have gone through that way of thinking in the 70s, and it destroyed our country, and it took us almost 30 years to come out of it. I beg you, do not go back there. Banish it from your thoughts. There are important lessons to be learned, you know, because whenever the idea of 5 flights a day is resurrected, and you see the depletion of your middle class, you see the depletion of your trained graduates, and you see the migration of talent, not like what you're seeing now. This is, you know, almost standard, you know, process. But if you start to create a class and economic war in your society, unnecessarily so, you could exacerbate the existing brain drain that we have. We must be careful about that. So, again, let me commend the Caribbean Cement Company and CEMEX for making this investment in expanding the plant, which is going to expand growth, expand employment, and give every poor Jamaican an opportunity. We want more of these investments. We want to see more people in the private sector, micro, small, medium, and large. Keep on investing in Project Jamaica. It is for the benefit of all Jamaicans. God bless you, and thank you.
Thank you, Prime Minister, for your remarks and for congratulating the company on a wide range of issues. Distinguished guests, colleagues, As I bring this program to a close, or this phase of the program to a close, thank you for joining us and bearing witness to this milestone. I must recognize the local muralists Yan Q Yip and Jordan Harrison, and thank all speakers who enriched the program, members of the government and members of the board of TCL and Carib Cement. The teams across the company who have contributed to this execution, our supplier partners, and all who have made today possible. You are highly and truly appreciated. Now, as we let me just say that those participating in the unveiling are the Prime Minister, Minister Grange, Ambassador Mijares, and Mr. Gonzalez. And this will be followed by the groundbreaking exercise in which the Prime Minister and Mr. Gonzalez will participate in the first instance. Then this will include Prime Minister, Mr. Gonzalez, Minister Hill, and Chairman Leo Ali. So if we could prepare to the rear of the
This is the best angle for the camera in terms of the sound?
Everybody know why I like you.
That was a favorite.